What's going on, everybody? It's Robert. So yesterday I was speaking with a buyer of mine who wants to go out and look at homes this weekend, and that's perfectly fine. It's set up, we're gonna go. They have a letter from a lender, that's ready. They got their down payment, that's ready. But they started asking me about closing costs. Now, either they have closing cost money and don't want to spend it, or they don't have it and they're looking for it from some source, like the seller, like their lender, and possibly me. So what do we do about that? Let's talk about that in this video right now. Alright guys, so thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you stopping by. If you think it brings you any value whatsoever, please do hit the like button and maybe even the subscribe button, and we could be friends. How about that? So I was speaking with my buyer. We're gonna look at homes on the weekend, and they were on the phone with their friend who told them that they can get a closing cost credit from somebody. I think my buyer has their own closing costs already saved up. They got their down payment, and my money's on that they have closing cost money too. But hey, who can blame them? They want to try and get a credit from somewhere, from someone, some entity to help pay for their closing costs. Now, closing costs can be around 2 to 3, maybe 4% of your purchase price, wherever you're at. Check with the settlement company, your lender, your real estate agent for an estimate for where you're at. Anyways, can they get a closing cost credit in this market? The first step is to understand the market that you're about to enter into. What does that sandbox look like? Now, in this area, and I believe most of the country, it is a seller's market, and it is very difficult to have all of your closing costs. Maybe you can get some of them covered, but it's difficult to have all of your closing costs covered in a seller's market where you're getting that money from somebody other than yourself. So the first step that you can do, if you don't want to part ways with your own money, or you literally don't have any money for your closing costs and all you have is your down payment, the first thing to do is to go to the seller to see if they can't give you a credit towards your closing costs. Now, there's two ways to go about it. You either ask the seller for some money towards your closing costs, not all, or you go to the seller and ask them for all of the money that it's going to take to cover your closing costs. You want an idea of what those costs are going to be first. Talk with your lender about that, probably to get more specific, because they share a large portion of what the charges will be on your closing costs. So it's smart to figure that out first. Then you go to the seller and ask them for what you need. Now, the inventory is really low, and so in my area, 90% of all the homes are selling for either at or above their asking price. And it seems like everyone is selling above, but it's just not the case. But it's still most of them, okay? 9 out of 10. And so what that means is those are selling with multiples of offers, and you're going to be up against other buyers who are not asking for a closing cost credit. It's really competitive. Buyers are doing anything it takes to get into a home, offering well more than the asking price in many cases. So you're going to compete with buyers like that. So if you want to avoid that kind of rejection and competition, you might need to focus on the 10% of the market that isn't selling for their asking price. And that's a matter of getting with your real estate agent to really determine which homes are a candidate for you to focus on, where the seller might be willing to wheel and deal with you, and maybe they don't sell it for below their asking price, but they're going to give you a closing cost credit, maybe say $10,000. Another way to go about that, if you're interested in getting a credit towards your closing costs, is maybe still make the seller whole on their asking price. Like if they're asking for $500,000 for their home and you want to give them $500,000, but you need a closing cost credit, well, how do you do that? You bump up the price that you're going to give them as the sales price. So for instance, $500,000 home, you offer $510,000, ask for a $10,000 closing cost credit back to you towards those closing costs. That still makes the seller whole at $500,000. The only problem there, and there's seemingly always a problem with something no matter which way you go, is that the home will need to appraise for $510,000. So the question is, probably for your real estate agent, or if you're working with me, you ask me, Will the home appraise for $510,000? And I'll give you my best guess, and it's just a guess, but being an experienced expert in the market where I'm at, I can of course give you a good gauge on that. And so you can bump up the price and get a credit back, or you don't bump up the price at all. You maybe offer the asking price and get a credit back, or you offer below the asking price and you still get a credit back on top of that. It's up to you how you want to structure it. It's just you want to structure things in a smart way that give you a higher probability of getting a home, because presumably that's your goal. Another way you can get a credit towards some or all of your closing costs would be to ask your lender for some sort of a credit. Call it a lender credit. And there are lenders who will give you a lender credit. It might depend on what type of loan program you're doing, but sometimes that also comes with a higher interest rate. So you're really paying for that credit in the form of some sort of tick up in the interest rate that they're giving you. So is that really worth it? But maybe if you're a buyer without any money up front for your closing costs, you don't have it, you just have your down payment, maybe that's the only way you can go if it really is that important to you to buy a home. Another option, and real estate agents don't hate me for this, is you maybe ask for some sort of a small credit from your real estate agent. Let's keep it small. Ask your real estate agent, hey, can you help with $500? Can you help with $1,000? Whatever they can do to give you some sort of assistance for your closing costs towards you. That might help the deal go forward if you're finding yourself a little bit short on money. I'm willing to help some of my clients if it all financially makes sense for them to get the home. They don't have it. They're coming up a little bit short. They love the home. I don't like to see any of my clients not be able to accomplish their goals. So anyways, if you have any questions about the real estate buying process, real estate selling process, the area where I'm at, where I do business, where I've lived all my life, Santa Clarita, third largest city in Los Angeles County. We're North Los Angeles County here. I'd love to help you guys out. A lot of people are moving to Santa Clarita because it's still considered a really nice, affordable suburb of Los Angeles, and it really is. We were just ranked the third safest city in the United States, which is pretty incredible. Ranked like happiest city, ranked high for being a super active city. So it's a great place to live. If you're coming to town or anything and you need some real estate help, I'd love to help you out. Get a hold of me anytime. Book an appointment with me on my Calendly. Go to calendly.com/book Robert. If you want to search homes with me, please do that at my website. We can collaborate on what you're seeing. Go to mickelsongroup.com. Thanks for watching this. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. And until the next video, take care.